Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. How y'all doing this morning? Go ahead and double tap on my screen as you are coming into the room. Y'all already know what time it is. It is what? Morning walk, word, and worship. Walk, word, and worship, where we get it in every single morning. Starting at 8:10, normally start at 8:10. We're a few minutes early this morning. How you doing, Desire Star? How are you, Sheila Davis checking in? Crystal Love is popping in. What's going on, Heather Smith 40? I see you. Good morning. Grand Rising. What up, body by Kira almost got blocked this morning, sending me all them exercises that she know I can't do. Because what I'm going to do with them all? You know what I'm saying? Be laid out in St. Lucia, okay? You know what I'm saying? Be laid all the way out in St. Lucia. Listen, good morning, Grand Rising, Rich Rising. What's up, Allison? How are you? Good morning to you, Danielle. Danielle, how y'all doing? Sheila Davis, good morning. Dorothy, good morning to you, blessed queen. Let's go. Double tap on the screen as you coming in. Good morning to you, Nicole. How you doing this morning? What's up? Is it Miss Shorty? Miss Shorty 45. How you doing this morning, Lillian? Good morning to you as well. Y'all double tap on the screen. Double tap on the screen as you are coming into the room. Girl, Crystal, I got to show you what Kira sent me. Y'all, I'm telling you, play too much. Early in the morning, play too much. That's why Tifa need to be doing them sound bowls, so she'll be having something to do. She needed something to do this morning. She needed, yeah. Tifa should have been on them sound bowls. She need to be at work, Tifa. Don't give her no more days off. Don't give her no more days off. Pull them sound bowls out and tell her to pull her little book out and then get to reading. Okay? Get to reading. And I'm telling you right now, that's what she should have been doing last night or this morning. Nah, man, if y'all haven't caught that, man, y'all got to make sure y'all do. Like when they work together as a combo, man, that thing be fire. It be good by itself, but it's fire when it's in the combo. Like they man, listen, y'all got to tap into it when Tifa is doing the sound bowl and then Kira come and she does this reading. You know what I'm saying, on top. Oh man, it's fire. Y'all just you gotta experience it to kind of know what it is that I'm talking about. But yeah, it's like a fire combo for real. It's a fire combo. I absolutely love it. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Grand Rising, Rich Rising, Happy New Day to each and every one of y'all. I got somebody that's sitting over here sending me some love, that's sending them hearts up, but I don't see the name. The name not coming up Facebook. Tell me, hey, you like it too, Heather? I'm telling you. It's different. But I told y'all before, like last year I was telling y'all, I was saying something about like her voice. She has the voice to do stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Her and Be Kind, man, they got them voices. They got them voices where they able to do it. And it's just like real smooth. It's real smooth. So yeah, it's a whole vibe. Good morning, Edie Nicole. How you doing? Bad girl. What's up with you? Good morning, Lily. How you doing this morning, man? Y'all double tap on our screen real quick. Let's reach our goals. Let's reach our goals on all three platforms. Reach our goal on all three platforms so that we can take off and we can jump immediately into this word. What we've been talking about for the past 3 weeks have been the spiritual transformation or the stages of transformation. Thank you so much, Latifa. I appreciate you, sweetheart. Listen, it's about the stages of transformation, things that you experience as you're continuing to grow and evolve in Christ, right? And thus far, we've learned that there's a lot, not exposure. We thought that was going to be the biggest one. Exposure, we were able to teach exposure in one day, right? Isolation ended up being a real big one, right? Because we was like, dang, did not even know all of these things actually took place in that isolation stage. So do you understand now why we say that this is not something that is just easy breezy, right? This is why we say this. Like, this is not something that's just easy breezy. Thank you, Benny Simpson. You know, this is not something that you learn in one day. This is not something that you learn in 1 year. This is something that you study. So just from us doing the studying that we're doing right now, right, I want you guys to really take a good look at that, right? Kashawn, good morning to you, right? It's when you step back and you look at, we took at least a week to break down isolation. Right? To break down isolation. So that right there should give you your confirmation right there to say, hey, look, maybe this thing is deeper than what I thought it was. Because it is, sis. You over there beating yourself up. You over there thinking that you're not growing, thinking that you're not evolving because, I don't know, because I'm feeling this. And the whole entire time, it's deeper than that. This thing takes time to digest, to digest, to process, to pull apart. It's a lot of different components that actually go into this, right? We've been over here on awakening, right? The awakening have taken us 3 weeks all by itself. This is the third week that we've actually been talking about the awakening, right? right? All three of these are processes. These are things that you go through when you're going through the stages of your transformation as you're continuing to grow and evolve in Christ. And a lot of these things that we've been learning, wait a minute, I've been deceived, I've been bamboozled, I've been hoodwinked, because I was thinking one thing was this, but it was actually that the whole time. So now we understanding what, not only are we understanding how the mind and the spirit operates, we're also understanding more about how the adversary operates as well. We've been picking up on, his strongest thing is what? His main tool that the adversary always uses is what? What have we been learning is the top tool. Every time we're going through our notes. There you go, Lily. Exactly. There you go, Tifa. That's right, Body by Kira. Sheila Davis, you got it. Christina, you got it. That's right. There you go, Heather Smith. That's a fact. Now put it in the chat. I want it in the chat. Net, that's correct. Melalicious, you got it. Okay, Leola got it. Gigi, you got it. Jackie, you got it. There you go. It's deception. The enemy's tool, his main tool, his favorite tool is deception. To deceive you, to trick you into thinking that's something that isn't what it really and truly is. That's his main tool. So the more that we're growing and we're evolving in Christ and we're studying Christ conscious and studying the transformation, we're realizing that, we've been deceived by a lot. We've been misled by a lot. A lot of things that we thought was a problem for us, we're realizing that it was not really ever a problem. It was never a problem. The reason why I was craving about being by myself and wanted some alone time and wanted to sit down and really just deal with me for a while, I was thinking that I was stressed out. I was thinking that I was depressed. I was thinking all these negative things, and I did not realize that all of that was what? It was a trick of the enemy. What? It was all a trick of the enemy. The enemy was tricking me into thinking that those were the feelings that those feelings was the feelings that I was feeling. Krista, thank you so much. And the truth of the matter is, I was craving that alone time, that isolation, because I needed time to myself to be able to decompress, to be able to think, to be able to process what it was that I was going through so that I could move forward the way that I needed to move forward. But because everybody look at people who want to be by themselves or go on a fast away from people, because everybody looks at it and say, oh, you depressed, or you got things going on, or you down bad, or something wrong with you. I took on that. And whatever it is that your mind is focused on is what your mind is going to always produce more of. So if in your mind you're focusing on, maybe I'm depressed, maybe I'm stressed, maybe I'm this, maybe I'm that, then guess what will happen? Your body will start to develop those things. But whatever it is that your mind is focused on is what it's going to produce. Your mind sends the signal to the body, then the body responds. This is why you have to be careful with even your thoughts, right? This is why you have to be careful with your thoughts. This is why you have to be able to shut down those negative thoughts as soon as they start. This is why. Because you could have had no feelings, no thoughts of depression at all. You just wanted some time to be by yourself, to process what you got going on in your life. And you just needed a couple of minutes, a day or so that you could really decompress. And everybody around you started throwing depression, all at you, right? They started throwing depression at you all left and right. You ain't had no thoughts of depression. But then all of a sudden, here you go talking depression talk. Now here you go. All of a sudden, this where you at with. Like, wait, when you started feeling that? When that started being a thing? I thought you just wanted to chill for a little bit. This is why you have to watch what you think, and you have to also watch what you take in as well. Watch what you think, but also watch what you take in as well. Don't let folk just say no anything to you and you receive it. And don't you just think no anything about yourself and then just go to feeding off of that feeling. You have to learn how to shut it down. Shut down that negative internal dialogue. Shut down those negative things that folks are saying on a regular basis. A lot of us, I'm going to say at least half of us that's on this live right now, if we're going to be real, we're going to say somebody spoke something negative over my life. Understand me? We all have had that experience. And if you didn't, we want to say you're blessed, right? Don't take that for granted. That is a blessing. But in the chat real quick, if you've experienced that moment, whether it was a teacher, whether it was somebody at the church, whether it was an auntie, whether it was an uncle, whether it was your grandmama, or even your mom or dad or sister or brother, right? If you've experienced when somebody have said something, oh, you're going to be just like this, or you're going to be just like that, and I can see it all over you. Oh yeah, they prophesied all over you, right? They speak it all over you. They let you know right then and there. Oh, you're going to act just like them because you can tell. You can tell just with the way that you talk and the way you do this. I've been talking, be saying all kind of stuff, right? They speak these things over your life. They say these things to you. And as a child, you absorb those things because you hear what these adults are saying to you, and you're looking at yourself saying, oh, okay, well, maybe I am, because you don't really know you. So maybe I am. Maybe that is going to be the person that I am. Maybe I do act just like my mama. And I'm going to be honest with you, when most of the time when people start saying, oh yeah, you act just like that person, you act like this, you act like that, you start to study that person more. You become more attentive to that individual, and your mannerisms and everything become just like that individual because you are a child and you're mirroring what it is that you're seeing. So if people tell you that this is who you are, in a child's mind, you believe them. So you start to watch that person. You listen to what they say. You say what they say. You do what they do. You behave just like that individual. You start to behave just like that individual. You start to behave just like that individual. So in other words, what are you telling me, Coach? The reason why your spiritual transformation takes so long, the reason why it takes so long is because it takes, that right there, that's years of trauma. Thank you, Rashida. I appreciate you, sweetheart. I want you to know that that's years worth of trauma. When you start absorbing that, when you start taking that in, and you start developing that, yeah, you take that in, and when you start taking that in, you start wrapping yourself all up in that, and it takes time. It takes years to unwrap all that wrapping. You didn't wrap yourself up in it one day. You didn't wrap yourself up in it in 2 days. You didn't wrap yourself up in it in 3 days. That's years worth of wrapping. Understand me. So why do you think that you're going to get out of it just like that? When you're going, give yourself some grace. Do you hear me? Each and every person that's on this live right now, show yourself some grace. Show yourself some grace. You're not, I want you to understand that you are definitely made perfect in God's image, but you are not without fault. There's going to be some times on this journey, understand me, where you're not going to feel like it, when you're not going to be in the mood to do it, and all of these things, and you have to continuously get up every single day and push yourself forward despite what it is that you feel. You have to be so committed to this journey, so locked into this journey, that you don't let nothing separate you from it. Understand me. What you say, Coach? You have to be so locked into this, so locked into it, that you don't let nothing separate you from this journey. The assignment in this season is to stay on the assignment. The assignment in this season is to stay on the assignment. And for many of us, I know y'all heart jumping right now because y'all saying, you know what, and that's enough work all by itself. Hello, somebody, baby, I put both my hands up, baby, and that right there is enough work all by itself. The assignment for this season is to stay on the assignment. Understand, the assignment for this season is to stay on the assignment. And some of y'all, those that get it, and those that don't, that's okay. You're going to get it later on, okay? Because Coach ain't going to leave you. We don't leave nobody behind. You will get it later on. And it's the assignment is to stay on the assignment, and you have to know that that's enough work all by itself. When you're trying to stay on course, when you're trying to stay focused, you're trying to stay locked in, and you're trying to make sure you're doing the right thing on a regular basis, and you becoming super focused in your life, oh baby, that's a job. Understand me, that's a job. The reason why we don't know, some folk don't know how hard it is because they ain't never did it before. Hello, somebody. So reason why some of y'all say, well, wait a minute, how is that going to be a hard thing if you ain't never did it before? Understand me, you ain't never did it before, because this right here, this ain't for the weak, baby. This is not for the weak right here. This right here, this thing will test you. It will test you. It will try you. It will, I'm talking about definitely refine you. This is what this here thing will do. This thing will take you down through there. But the reward on the end of it, thank you so much, Miss Driver. The reward at the end of it is so rewarding. The reward at the end of it makes it worth it. right? It makes it worth it when you actually start to see yourself evolving, growing, when you actually start to see yourself, you know what I'm saying, developing peace, when you start to see yourself being able to sleep at night, when you start to see the changes within yourself, then it makes it all worth it. So in other words, when I'm telling you this morning that all of this work that you're doing right now on yourself, it's not in vain, sweetheart, but it will be if you give up, right? Don't waste your time. Don't waste your energy. Understand me. It will be in vain if you give up. All you got to do is stay the course. And sometimes it's going to be difficult. Sometimes you're going to have to cry a little bit. Sometimes you might have one of those moments where you're going to be up in the wee middle of the night, in the middle of the night, or wee in the morning too. One of those things, and it's just because God is saying, hey, look, I want to talk to you for a little while longer. I want you to dismantle what the enemy placed in your mind that said, oh, I can't sleep. I can't sleep. I can't sleep. Every time that you're not able to sleep doesn't mean that the enemy is interrupting your sleep. Sometimes you can't sleep. You can't sleep because God is saying, come lay with me. Come on. Yeah, I want. Oh, okay. Well, I just want to tell you. Wait a minute. She's talking about, Coach, can you say that part again? Hey, I just be wanting people to understand that everything that happens is not always the enemy, and that you give him way too much credit. You give him way too much power. Sometimes when you're not able to sleep, because friend told me to say it again now. Say, well, sometimes when you're not able to sleep, right? It's not because the enemy is interrupting your sleep or robbing you of your sleep. It's because God is saying, come lay with me. It's in the stillness when everybody else then laid down and they snoring and they sleep and the house is now finally quiet. So instead of laying there, right, with that negativity, that negative mindset and thinking that the enemy is after you and robbing you of your sleep, I challenge you now, right, to start, when you experience those moments, go lay with God. Go to your prayer closet real quick. Thank you so much, Kira. I appreciate that, CA, sweetheart. Go to your prayer closet real quick. Go sit in there. Go turn your meditation music on a little bit. Go in there, turn your gospel on, and just lay back and lay before him. Turn your worship music on, and won't nothing center you, won't nothing calm you, won't nothing relax you, like you just laying just you and him for a while. And that's what he wants. And I promise you, when you start doing things like that, taking everything that the enemy try to throw at you as a negative thing, and you start really looking at it, because you see how we just changed the way you saw that. Do you see that, right? So before, that's how deception works. That's how sneaky he is. That's how cunning he is. That's how sly he is. So he can actually sat right there and said, oh yeah, well, I ain't give no good rest last night because of this, and this. And so you sat up all night, and now you start doing that whenever you can't sleep. You going and laying before God, and you turning on your worship music, and you're creating an environment where you just welcome him in right there. Tanya Hall, thank you so much for that, CA. You welcome him in right there, right? You see how you just changed the flow of your next day? Do you see how you just changed the flow of your next day? Instead of you waking up and talking about, oh, I've been up all night, I wasn't able to sleep, and you walking around and you got an attitude and you so irritable with everybody and you ready to tell everybody off. And now when you get up the next morning, right, after you done laid before God, well, come on, Gigi, and you didn't have time in worship, and you just done poured your heart out, and you didn't lay there in silence and allowed him the opportunity to communicate back with you. Now when you wake up, even though you ain't got all them hours of sleep, right? Now you wake up, your mindset is different. When folk look at you and they say, man, what you been doing? Man, listen, I had a time with the Lord last night. Baby, yeah, you still at the same hours that you didn't sleep. You still wasn't sleep. So what's the difference? It was time well spent. Hello. So yeah, it's all about how you wait. Yesterday I gave y'all a note and I said that when you have to wait, right, it's about how you wait. I'm just giving you an example this morning to go along with the note that I gave you on yesterday. You see what I'm saying? I'm just trying to make it make sense to you so you can wrap your mind around it. It's all about how you wait. If you lay up in the bed and you whining and crying because you can't go to sleep and you just sit there staring at that ceiling that's already peeling, if you lay up in that bed and you just scrolling on your phone because you can't go to sleep, then you just wasted all the time that you could have been laying before him. You just wasted all the time. That's what you done. So you woke up and you tired. You woke up and you're empty. You woke up and you're mad. And you got an attitude with everybody because you didn't sleep well. But had you got up out that bed and made your way over to your prayer closet and you utilized that time the right way, right? And you just laid before God right then, right? And you just worship. When you woke up, baby, I'm full. You dancing around the kitchen like you done slept for 8 hours. Come here. What made you get up and you done made salmon croquettes on a Saturday? Not on a Saturday, but in the middle of the week, baby. It's in the middle of the week. You got to go to work. Why in the world is you up making salmon croquettes and grits and eggs? I'm trying to understand. Toast with a little bit of butter on it. Hey. What got into you? That spirit. That's it. Oh, it's a good day to have a good day. It's a good day to, come on. It's a good day to have a good day. Now, you down in the kitchen. Come on, Heather Smith. You down in the kitchen. You dancing around the kitchen. You got a whole breakfast that you done got up and you done cook gospel music, still gospel music in it. Understand me? Flowing through your body, the vibration, the aura, the energy all around you is just blessed. You feel me? Cheering coming down the steps. They smell the food. They in there lined up around the table because don't nothing fulfill your heart as a mother like, baby, feeding your children. When you start feeding your children, that's a whole nother vibe, baby. You don't care about nothing else. I'm telling you. And you ain't got to be eating a thing. All you want to do is cook it and watch them eat it. When they get to eating your cooking, you smile like you ain't never smiled before. Don't nothing make your heart full like when your kids like your food. Hello, somebody, I'm telling you. And it could be the simplest thing. And watching them eat it, and they eating, and they grabbing their backpacks, and they running up out that door. You feel full, and you ain't had no sleep. How you gonna wait? How are you gonna wait? It's small things like that. You see how small that was and how Coach used that as an illustration to break that chain? That was small, right? Like, wait a minute. I ain't never thought about that like that. Like, what made you listen? It's stuff like that. This is why Coach told you. I said, listen, don't stop overlooking the small things. Stop overlooking the small things. Thank you, Auntie Nay. Stop overlooking the small things because small things become big things. Understand me? If you don't take care of them. Small things become big things if you don't take care of them. The enemy is very slick. He's very sly. He's very cunning. He's very manipulative in the way that he moves. And he's never going to do anything that's going to be real big and real bold. When the enemy is trying to deceive you, it's always going to come in small little doses. Understand me? What you say, Coach? When the enemy is trying to deceive you, right? Trying to pull you off course, trying to distract you. When the enemy is trying to attack you, it's never going to be anything big. It's going to be in small doses. It's going to be very, very small. And this is why you have to be you all the way locked in. This is why you have to pay attention. And this is why you have to see through every single thing, right? I'm talking about including the jokes. Including the jokes. Understand me? You have to check everything that's around you, everything and everybody that's around you. You have to lock all the way into it. You have to establish those boundaries. And once you establish those boundaries, you have to enforce those boundaries. And there's going to be some people in your life that's going to say, oh, it don't take all of that. And you're just doing too much. It ain't even that serious, but baby, it's that serious plus some. Understand me? This is your life that we're talking about. This is your life. And your life is very serious. Might not be serious to them, but it should be very, very, very serious to you. I don't play like that. I don't joke like that. I don't find that funny. Understand me? And you have to address what needs to be addressed right then and there. And you don't show nobody no favoritism. Small things like sleep. From this point forward, when you're not able to sleep, I want you to get into your prayer closet. I want you to create an environment that is welcoming to the Spirit. I want you to turn on your worship music, crisscross applesauce, or lay all the way back and just allow it to flow. If you're not big on worship music, turn on your meditation music, get your sounds. I love sound bowls. When I'm in those moods, I turn on the sound bowls from YouTube and I just let it play. Just lay back. You just breathe and just let it go. This is going to become something that you're going to fall all the way in love with. Because we as human beings, we've forgotten how to relax. We've forgotten how to really decompress. We've forgotten how to, we think that self-care is just getting your nails done, getting your hair done, and getting a facial. We've wrapped self-care up in that, and baby, that's not self-care. Understand, it's a form of self-care, but real self-care is the inner work that you do. right? Understand me. Hear me when I'm talking to you, okay? Understand me. Coach, I'll help you before I hurt you any day. I promise you. I promise you that. Things that, real self-care is the things that don't have a price tag on it, sweetheart. It's when you're able to sit by yourself and really enjoy your own company. It's when you're able to lay back and just simply enjoy breathing. That's just outer stuff. Nails, hair, that's just outer stuff. I'm talking about really being good. I'm talking about really being fulfilled. I'm talking about really having that overflow in your life, right? So from this point forward, most of us never thought about it, right? But now you know a new technique. So when you laying inside of your bed and you can't sleep at night, the new thing is what? I'm going to get up and I'm going to go to my prayer closet. I'm going to go and turn my music on. I'm going to go and I'm going to lay back and I'm going to sit with God for a while. When you got times when you feel like I'm all over the place and this is going on and my mind is racing all over the place, doing this and that, go sit down for a second. Give yourself a 3 to 5 minute meditation. Center yourself. I promise you, it'll change the flow of your day. It'll change the flow of everything that surrounds you. We struggle a lot because we're not used to being still, right? Because we're not used to being still. So from this point forward, when you feel yourself about to start panicking, when you feel your heart about to start racing, when you start to feel your body warming up and the hairs on your skin start to stand and move and you start to catch them chills and you think that you're about to have a panic attack, an anxiety attack, a stress attack, stop. Be still. Breathe. Stop. Be still. Breathe. You don't let nothing or nobody pull you out of your element. Don't let them pull you off your square. Don't let them frustrate you. Don't let them aggravate you. Don't let them annoy you. And don't let them rush you. Take your time. Process what you feel. Be still. Inhale it. Hold it. 1, 2, 3. Release it. 1, 2, 3. Inhale it. Release it. And you practice doing this. This is giving yourself the time that you need to be able to process what you feel so that you can respond in a way that is favorable to you, right? Why? Because my consequences. I am responsible for my own actions. I can't afford to let you upset me. Because even though you upset me, if I act like how you want me to act, then it's still my fault because I lost my own control. I gave up my power. Understand me? And I refuse to do that. That's another vice of the enemy, right? Deception. And then he tries to frustrate you, to aggravate you, to annoy you, to upset you, right? To get you angry. Because once you get angry, then you start acting out of self, right? This is how he works. I'm just pointing out a couple of things. And then I'm going to jump right into this. These things were things that I wrote down last night that I said I wanted to reiterate because it's a lot of things that be going on that people don't, a lot of things that people talk to me about is not being able to sleep. And then talk to me about, I got so many people, they be poking a bear. It be at my job, it be at the house, and they be aggravating me, they be frustrating me. So there's a reason why I'm talking about these things this morning is because I'm addressing these issues and I'm letting you guys know that these things are still all a part of spiritual warfare. There's nothing that you're going to do or that you're going to experience that's not spiritual. Every single encounter that we have with every single person is a spiritual encounter, even if we don't know it. Don't let that, yeah. Every single encounter that you have with every single person is a spiritual encounter. And that's whether you like it or not. That's a good encounter or a bad encounter. It's still both spiritual. You're not, I'm letting you know so that you won't be thinking that, no. It's a spiritual encounter for you. It may not be a spiritual encounter for them because they're still operating with the mindset of the world. But once you become a person that is knowledgeable of who Christ is, and you're studying that Christ conscious and operating with that Christ conscious, now your mindset is different from their mindset, and how you see it is going to be different from how they see it. So when you address issues, you no longer address issues from a worldly type of thinking. Now you are charged to operate with that Christ conscious. So when you behave, your behavior should reflect that of Christ. When you speak, your speech should reflect that of Christ. When you move, you should be moving in a way that is a direct reflection of Christ. That's, okay. This is why you have to pray first. This is, okay. You're going too much. You're doing too much. You're doing too much. I'm just letting you know that everything that you do is spiritual. It becomes a spiritual journey for you. So you can't afford to behave like them, to respond like them. This is the reason why when you start on your when you start operating with Christ conscious and moving in the way of God, studying God, being in certain environments where it's teachable environments and you take it in different informations and whatnot, you start to see things different naturally. Things start to become, clear. Clarity becomes a thing for you. Peace becomes a thing for you. Joy becomes a thing for you. These things become a thing for you. And anything that's not in alignment with those things, your spirit is now being tormented, right? What you say, Coach? How do you know that as you're starting to operate with Christ conscious, you're growing and evolving in Christ? How do you know, understand me, that it's all becoming a spiritual thing, Coach? That's just something that you threw out there. Now, hold on. You can't just do it that way. I'm going to tell you how you know. This is how you know. Because once you start operating with that level of Christ consciousness, your awareness starts to grow, right? Your spirit of discernment is now activated and is powering up in the inside of you. So the more information that you take in and allow to take root, it starts to influence change inside of your life. You start to see different. You start to hear different. And people in the world don't hear what you hear. People in the world don't see what you see because you're seeing with insight, not just on sight anymore, right? How are you seeing with insight? Because Christ that dwells in the inside of you. You have to understand, he loves his people to be wise, to be knowledgeable. Understand me. He's not going to have you out here ignorant. So he'll show you what it is way before it becomes what it's going to become. You will know beforehand. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So pause right there. So yes, so you start to see that everything is spiritual for you. Everything is spiritual for you. The moment that's the reason why your spirit feels so tormented when you be dealing with folks and sitting in environments that are not in alignment with your assignment. That's the reason why you feel uncomfortable when you go to those places that you used to hang out at. That's why you feel so uncomfortable when you be sitting over there in a relationship that you are settling in. That's why you feel so uncomfortable when you be getting up and going to a job, and that job is like, this right here, this ain't it right here, baby. I'm telling you, the bills is getting paid, but where's my overflow? I mean, wait a minute, this ain't the environment. This ain't how I see myself. You can no longer settle because you're learning more and more about who your daddy is. And when you understand that your daddy is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, when you start to see your daddy acknowledging his presence and acknowledging his power in your life, then you start to demand more, not just out of other people, but you start to demand more out of yourself. So now the job that you used to work ain't good enough for you anymore. Understand me? Yeah, okay, Coach, you're doing too much. Well, I'm just trying to tell you why you go through these different stages and why you start to feel the way that you feel. Understand me? Because the more that you're growing and evolving and learning who he is, the way that you see and the way that you do and the way that you move is completely different. It's a spiritual situation for you. Understand me? This is a spiritual thing for you. They don't see it how you see it. They don't understand it how you understand it, right? Because they don't know him like you know him. This is how we know that it's all spiritual. They can look at it and they'll say that it's absolutely nothing. You will look at it and you will see everything that's attached to it. And you will go ahead and you will do it on your own. And when it actually happens, when it actually opens up, when that thing starts to actually produce, they'll look at you and they say, how you know? Understand me. This is why I tell you, you can't wait on other people to get on board. You can't wait on other people to support it. You can't wait on other people to understand it. You can't wait on other people to come and pat you on the back and tell you, great job. Understand me. Some folk will not understand your assignment until it's done. Some folk will not understand your assignment until it's done. And what the enemy does is he works overtime to aggravate you, to frustrate you, to annoy you, or to get you to a place where you start to operate with that spirit of anger so that you throw in the towel so you never become that thing. Understand me. He frustrates you, aggravates you, annoy you to the point where, understand me, you get so mad, so angry, and so distracted that you never what? You never become. His job is to deceive you, to distract you, to wear you all the way down to the point where you give up on yourself and your assignment because it requires too much out of you. So you do what? You never become. The enemy's job is to stop you from what? Becoming. So that's the reason why I'm telling you about your anger this morning. This is the reason why I'm speaking about your frustration this morning. That's the reason why I'm telling you about your times when you're sitting up and you can't sleep at night. This is why I'm telling you how to calm yourself down, how to self-regulate, how to control your emotions, because there's going to be consequences attached to that. And even if you have a really good reason for you behaving the way that you behave, right? Because some people, they keep going and keep going and keep going to the point where you just fly all the way off the handle. Even though you have a good reason for you behaving the way that you behave, it's still not excusable. What are you saying, Coach? There's still going to be consequences attached to that. Every time that you act out of your emotions, hear me with your heart. It's going to cost you. It might cost a little, it might cost a lot, but it's definitely going to cost you. An emotionally driven person is a liability. An emotionally driven person is a liability. An emotionally driven person is a liability. As you're on your spiritual journey, you have to know how to control yourself. And there's going to be some times in your life where you want to go off and you can't. It's going to be some times in your life where you want to check everybody that's in the room and God is saying, zip it. Understand me. It's going to be some times where you feel like, oh, wait a minute. Y'all know that I will get y'all all the way together. Y'all know it and I know it. Y'all know I will come in this room and I will turn everybody every which way but loose. Please. Yeah. They know that and you know that. But God says no. Nah. You're like, wait a minute. Because that's exactly what they want you to do. They know what you're capable of just like you know what you're capable of. But the moment that you go in there and you do just that, then you become exactly what they want you to become. They knew when they sent you that text message that text message was going to upset you, right? They knew that already. But that text message was sent because they wanted to trigger your anger. They wanted to frustrate you. They wanted to toy with your emotions. They wanted to push you to the point where you would respond to them. Do not respond to the text message. They knew when they sent that email to you, they only sent that email to you because you blocked them off the phone. So because they couldn't text you, they sent you an email. And they made it a paragraph long. Understand me, they knew that you would see it. They sat there and watched and waited for it to say sent. Understand me, then went to they sent messages to make sure that it delivered right over there to you. They were on a mission, is what I'm explaining to you. Some folk be on a mission to destroy you. They be on a mission to upset you. They be on a mission to frustrate you, to aggravate you, to get up under your skin just so that they can ruin your day, to ruin your good mood, to pierce your peace. Understand me, some folk move that strategically to be able to get at you. And this is the reason why I'm telling you, as a person that is a believer, everything that you do is spiritual. You have to know how to control yourself and still don't respond to it. Hit that delete and don't even read it. Understand me, don't even read it. Why do you say that, Coach? Because if you read it, then you're going to be triggered even more to respond to it. If you read it, then that's going to make you further angry about it. Don't even read it. Just don't hit that button right there. Understand me. It's some folk that'll go all outside of their way to get on your nerve, to do whatever it is. They are very much aware of what it is that they're doing, and they want you to give them the response that they want. Understand me. And the moment that you do that, they win. That's right, that spiritual rebuke button. You know I love that one. The moment that they do it, they win. Stop giving up your power. This morning we call all our power back. This morning we call all our power back. I call back all my power on this morning, all my power. I call all my power back to me this morning. Double tap on the screen, double tap on the screen, double tap on the screen. Yes, this is why it's so important for you to operate with that Christ conscious and always seek guidance from Christ every single day. Every single day, this is what you have to do. This is what you're charged to do. Understand me, the enemy is always going to use the same tactics. Nothing about this is new. Nothing about how he do and what he does. It's not even new. Understand me, the reason why it seems new to us is because we wasn't paying attention to it. We wasn't paying attention to it. All of these things have been things that we've been dealing with our whole entire life. We just got used to dealing with it. So we developed coping skills to deal with it. That's what we done. We develop coping skills to deal with the dysfunctional behavior. We develop coping skills to deal with people who had sharp tongues. We develop coping skills to deal with the mothers who don't say I love you and don't hug you, that are not affectionate. We develop coping skills for the relationships, for the people who cannot communicate effectively. So what we do is we stop trying to communicate with them. All we have been doing our whole entire life is developing coping skills to deal with this world. And now what Coach is telling us is we're no longer doing that. Matter of fact, we're throwing all of that out. And it's okay for me to exist by myself. It's okay for me to focus on myself. It's okay for me to prioritize myself. Understand me, if you don't know how to treat me, if you don't know how to respect me, if you don't see me, hear me, honor me, then it is okay for me to snip. And I don't owe nobody no type of explanation for me walking away from you. And it doesn't matter what the relationship is. There you go. Double tap on my screen. Double tap on my screen if it was for you this morning. If that was confirmation. If it was, confirmation. If it was motivation, inspiration, or correction. If you know, like, wait a minute, that was, hold up. Yeah, feet up on your coffee table this morning. Yeah, peeking through your window. How I know that was you. That was for me, Coach, right there. Needed that for sure. Understand me. And it wasn't even that I didn't know that. I just needed the reminder, because life be lifing out here, and sometimes I get sidetracked. Sometimes I get sidetracked, and I ain't gonna sit on your live and lie to you like I haven't been over here responding to some stuff that I really wish I never responded to. I ain't gonna even sit up here in your face, Coach, and play with you. That right there, that was me. I be laid up in the middle of the night, and I don't ever even think, it never even crossed my mind to go over there and hit my knees and get into my prayer room. It never hit my mind to turn on my worship music. It never hit my mind to go over there and have an opportunity to lay just me and the Lord. I sit right there, and then I wake up and I do exactly what you said. I have an attitude with everybody because I didn't rest well. I'm over here tired, and that be the topic of my conversation all day long. How I didn't sleep well last night. Instead of my conversation being, I was up all night with the Lord. I was over there in worship. I was over there in praise. And I know for a fact that was me. That was me. Understand me? And if that was you, just be real about it. Double tap on the screen and send some love. We got 470 over here on Facebook. Can we get up to 600? Can we get to 600 on Facebook? IG, can we get 5 badges? Y'all double tap on my screen real quick. Let's get, she says, Paulette. Hey, good morning, Paulette. She says, confirmation, Coach. Oh my God. God's plan. Thank you so much, Gigi. Good morning, Lynn. How you doing, sweetheart? Double tap on the screen. Yeah, we gotta know this. So I am Lady. I am Lady B. Appreciate you so much, sweetheart. Thank you, Takesha. How you doing this morning, boo? Good morning. Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate y'all. Chef Shirley, Sheila, and Gigi. I appreciate that love coming over there off of TikTok, man. Go ahead and get us up to 100K. We at 55.2K right now. Get us up to 100K, y'all. Hit that share button. Hit that share button on TikTok and on Facebook. Let's get into this word even deeper. Terry, I appreciate that. CA, Terry. Thank you so much. Melalicious. Thank you, sweetheart. Y'all double tap on that screen. Gail, appreciate you. Anissa, patience is key. Thank you so much, man. Linda Ward, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Cynthia Banks, good morning to you as well. Good morning. Grand Rising, Rich Rising, Happy New Day. Everything that you do is spiritual. Lisa Brown, I appreciate you so much. Lily, thank you so much, man. Everything that you do is spiritual. Every single thing that you do is spiritual. Every encounter that you have is spiritual. Thank you so much, Candace Bash. Candace don't play. Candace say, I went and got me a second job so I can make sure I bless you when I show up. And she do it every single time. She is not going to play no games. Thank you, Denise Rose. I appreciate you. Appreciate you so much. Edie Nicole, I see you over there. Cece, thank you. What's up, Romeo? Good morning, Grand Rising, Rich Rising, Happy New Day. So as you're continuing on your spiritual journey, growing and evolving in Christ, we know what? Everything is spiritual, right? Now when we can't sleep at night, we know to do what? Get up. Go to your prayer room. Now when we know that somebody is working overtime to aggravate us, to frustrate us, to get up under our skin, we're going to do what? We're going to use our breathing technique. Step back and step away, right? In the front part of our mind, we're going to always remember what? An emotional person is a liability, not just to themselves, but to everybody that's around them, right? So it's important for us as believers to make sure that we are doing what? Controlling ourselves. Angel Carr, thank you so much for the CA, right? So that's for anybody this morning who is dealing with that, going through that, flying off the handle, behaving like how you used to behave, letting people get on up under your skin. We know now that, hey, wait a minute, that ain't nothing but a trick of the enemy. And the reason why the enemy go at you hard with those things is why? Because he want to stop you from becoming. You trying to stop me from becoming. The only reason why you this mad is because you see that I'm becoming. You see that I'm growing. You see that I'm evolving. You see greatness all over me. You see it just like I see it, don't you? Sometimes, yeah, that's just what you see it just like I see it, don't you? You see it and you want to stop it. You a hater. You are opposition. Understand me. Yeah, I see you. I see you just like you see me. You a hater. You upset by my growth. You intimidated by my development. My growth and my development should not upset you this way. Thank you so much, Big Eddie. I appreciate you. Gwendolyn, I appreciate you for that CA. My growth and development should not upset you this way. Understand me. You should not be this intimidated by seeing me do well in life. I mean, after all, isn't this what you wanted? Don't you want me to live a good life? Don't you want me to have? Don't you want to see me succeed? Don't you want to see me go to my next level? That just, yeah, you have to make that make sense. And when you start looking at it from that standpoint, you're going to start to see the true nature of everybody that's around you. You're going to start to see that some folk want you to have until you start having. Some people want to see you happy until you actually get happy. Some people want to see you successful until you actually become successful. As long as you the underdog, they right there with you. They clapping for you and doing everything else. They clapping and they yelling and they screaming and all of that. And then all of a sudden, when you pass that underdog type of a level and you start having in life and you start doing in life and you start succeeding in life, then all of a sudden, them same folk that was clapping for you, they no longer clapping for you. They over there looking like, oh my God, wait a minute. Yes, some folk won't understand your assignment until it's actually complete. They won't understand what it is that you're doing and how you're moving and how you're growing in life until it actually start becoming a thing that is manifested right there in your face. And they're like, wait a minute, I was cool with you until it actually started happening. Now, hold up. Yeah. I thought I wanted to see you healed, but I ain't sure about that now. I thought I wanted to see you in your right mind, but hold up, I ain't, hey, this ain't what I thought it was going to be. Now, wait a minute, the old version of you know what I'm saying, I could deal with, but this new version of you, it requires a little bit more. Understand me, yes, it requires more out of you. And it's also going to require more out of the people that's around you, right? Number 12, as you start to feel alone. And we started breaking down the feelings of being alone. We start breaking those things down. One that I gave you, I'm going to just read over the top paragraph and then we're going to jump right into these bullet points, right? You start to feel that feeling of being alone. You crave that aloneness, right? You start to crave that feeling, that aloneness, and it's not in a negative way, but in a positive way. You want to be by yourself because of the transitioning, the things that's happening with inside of you, right? So loneliness associated with spiritual awakening and loneliness are often intertwined. They're often intertwined. The awakening process can involve intense introspection, letting go of old identities, and confronting deep inner truths, leading to a feeling of isolation and disconnection from others. Introspection, I'm inspecting my inside now, right? I'm looking in the inner me, right? I'm seeing how I'm contributing to my own suffering, how I am breaking my own heart. I'm seeing the things that I've settled for. I'm seeing how I've played my part inside of my life, right? And letting go of the old identities. letting go of the old identities. I'm letting go of what people told me about me. Oh, you just like your daddy, you just like your mama, you just like your grandmama. I'm letting go of those old identities, because as I'm growing and evolving more in Christ, I'm realizing that those are not me at all, that is not me at all. I am a whole nother person. Understand me. I understand that I have to let that go, because I'm becoming the person that God has created for me to become, and confronting deeper in the truth. I start to tell the truth. Understand, move in truth, accept the truth, and anything that I want to hear is the truth. Understand me. It's like you're seeing things for what they are and not what you want them to be. Those deep into truths where you can now no longer lie to yourself. Deeper inner truths. You can't even lie to yourself about it no more. It's so real that you can't even speed past it like how you used to. Those deeper inner truths leading to feelings of isolation or disconnection from others. Isolation or disconnection from others. Well, why is that, Coach? Because once you see who they are at their core self, once you see their makeup, you can't unsee that, and you will no longer sit comfortably with them ever again. Because once I've been exposed to the true nature of who you are, I did not like that. Understand me. I did not like that. I thought you was for me until I realized that was a lie. I thought that you loved me until I realized that was a lie. I thought this relationship was reciprocal until I realized that was a lie. And once you've been exposed to the truth, you cannot be unexposed. You can't just sit over there and act like you no longer knew, right? So now, you start to distance yourself from people. You get over there and you're by yourself, working on yourself, right? So however, these feelings are not necessarily a sign of failure, but rather a natural part of the journey towards a deeper self-awareness and connection with oneself and God. Now, because you're by yourself, focusing on yourself, right? Work on yourself, for yourself, by yourself. Now you're operating with that type of mindset. The more that you dig deeper into here for you, the more that you start to search for a more spiritual thing as well. I started out on my spiritual journey and I just wanted to work on myself. I started out on my self-love journey and I was just working on myself and my development. And then all of a sudden, I started out of nowhere. I started to crave a more spiritual thing. I wanted to get to know God all of a sudden. I wanted to go back to church all of a sudden. I wanted to read the Bible all of a sudden. I started picking up spiritual self-help books all of a sudden, because the more that you get to know you, the more that you're going to find that Christ lives within. Okay. Oh, ain't that, yeah. So getting to know you is also getting to know him. Okay. I'm gonna drink the water wait. I'm just, Why you think everybody that start on their self-love journey all of a sudden starts craving a spiritual one? Yeah, come on. That's the reason why. Because you're starting to wake up things that's in the inside of you that have been laying dormant, waiting on you to come in and say, hey, look, I want to know more. I want to know more. I'm trying to tap in. But that don't happen until you get focused in your life. That doesn't happen until you get focused in your life. And the moment that you start to get focused in your life, then you start to see the parts of your life that's missing. Then you start to realize that I can't have good mental health without having good spiritual health. I can't have good mental health, spiritual health, and not have good emotional health, right? I still something that's missing out of my life, right? So this is why you have to make sure that all of these things are balanced. And the moment that you start operating with great spiritual health, great mental health, great emotional health, then great physical health, once you start operating with all four of them, then all of a sudden your life starts to feel full. You start to feel balanced. Understand me, the way that you look at life, the way that you live life, it becomes a whole nother playground for you. This is why every single morning, this is what we do. We get on our treadmill, right? Or our elliptical, so you walking around, your neighbor neighborhood or you get into the gym because we're working on our physical health, right? Then we go over here, we have motivational time. The first 30 minutes of these live videos be motivation, right? So that's our mental health right there, motivating us to get up and to get active, to tap into ourselves, right? To know that we matter, that we are loved, that we are respected. The remaining part of the video is always inspirational. Why? Because we have to make sure that we acknowledge God in everything that we do. And understand me that we can't have great mental health without having great spiritual health. And all throughout the video, I'm talking about what? Your emotions and the power of your emotions and regulating your emotions and catering also to your emotional state. So you get your balance every single day. And you thought you was just showing up. No, you show up here every single day and you walk away full the way that you feel full. You walk away feeling how you feel because what's happening, what's being poured into you mentally, physically, and emotionally. Only thing that you got to do on your own time is get your walk in. The only thing that you have to do on your own time, because some of y'all be at work or y'all be in y'all car and y'all on y'all way to work, the only thing that you got to do on your own time is what? Is get your own little walk in. You been got your 3 wins right here every single morning. That's why this is so important, right? So the first thing that we had the ego, dissolution, and aloneness, right? And that was the first point. And it says spiritual awakening often involves undoing the ego, right? Undoing the ego, which can lead to periods of aloneness and disconnection from this world. This can manifest as feelings misunderstood by others or finding that your values and beliefs are different from those in your social circle. Dissolution and aloneness was number one that we put, right? And we understand that the more that we start to operate with Christ conscious and in experiencing that awakening process, that it's not about us, that we have to let go of our pride and our ego because we don't have the strength that we think that we have, right? And that God doesn't actually move in our life until we humble ourselves. Until this is the reason why we says what? This is the reason why we understand what when Paul says, I have to, let this down daily. I have to let this down daily so that, you can take root in my life. Understand me? He says, let me decrease. Let me decrease so that you can increase inside of my life. We have to become humble. We have to become teachable. We have to step back and say, I'm willing to unlearn what I thought that I knew so that I can create the life that I was supposed to be living and not the life that this world told me that I had to live. So we have to let go of our pride and our ego. Number 2 was detachment and sovereignty, right? Detachment and sovereignty. You have to put that in there. Detachment and sovereignty. The spiritual path can involve a detachment from external sources of comfort and validation, which can lead to a feeling of aloneness. What you say? Detachment and sovereignty. As you're continuing on your spiritual journey, you start to detach yourself from these things in this world that you was once codependent on. You were holding on to those things in this world because you felt like those things brought you comfort. They was your safe space. So you had to do this and you had to do that in order for you to become a person that was safe. And you didn't even realize that you were becoming codependent. So when you don't talk to them, when you don't interact with them, when they're not a part of your day-to-day life, then you all of a sudden start to feel lost. You start to feel down. You start to feel sad. You start to feel defeated. But the more that you're operating with that Christ conscious and you start to evolve and grow inside of life, then all of a sudden you're like, I don't need that. Oh, yeah, I don't need that to wind down anymore. I don't need that to relax my mind anymore. I don't have to do all of that no more. I don't need all of that. All of a sudden, the things that you used to find comfort in, those things, you don't need those things anymore because you're starting to know who you are without it, right? You know who you are without it. You're comfortable right now. You're comfortable without it. Understand me. This is what happens as you're continuing to grow and evolve in your life, right? Detachment and sovereignty. So stop thinking that every time that you start to growing and evolving and detaching from somebody, that it's a bad thing. No, you're growing. And sometimes we outgrow people that we know and love. And it's not even that we don't love you. We just outgrew you. We outgrew the conversation. We outgrew the environment. We outgrew the relationship. We outgrew the friendship. And that is okay. Never apologize for growing. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. Never apologize for growing. That's that's what you're supposed to do. And that's for whoever's on this live right now. You feel bad because you don't want to hang out no more. You feel bad because you don't want to talk no more. You feel bad because you feel like it's not going anywhere. And you're tired of doing the same thing over and over and over. And you're ready for something that's brand new in your life. And I'm going to tell you one thing about God. God going to have you over there and uncomfortable as all get out until you actually move. You're never going to find peace in that thing that he says is not for you. When he says it's not for you and he start to nudge you, to push you up out of that, showing you everything to get you up out of that, you will never be comfortable. You will never be comfortable in something that is not for you. You will never be enough for something or someone that's not for you. You can go all outside your way. You can give, and you can do, and you can bend over backwards, and you can give it the best that you got, all of that. But if that person, if that thing is not for you, it still won't be enough. Your best still will not be enough. You will never be enough for something that is not for you. And you sitting over there looking at yourself trying to figure out, what am I doing wrong? I'm giving this and I'm doing that and I'm da. God said that's not for you, and I've shown you that already. There's nothing that you're going to do that's going to make them see you in that way. Understand me. Thank you, Lily. Yet you will never be enough for something that or something or someone that's not for you. It doesn't matter how early you come in. It doesn't matter how late you stay. They still going to hire somebody and have you train them, and they're going to be over you. That's not for you. And I've been showing you that. Understand me. It doesn't matter how much you've been over backwards. It doesn't matter how much money that you spend on them. It doesn't matter how many sacrifices that you make. It doesn't matter how much you go outside of your way. That person don't love you the way that you love them. And you have to accept the reality of the fact that you were in love, and that love was only one-sided. You were in the relationship and they were not. Understand me, they are very much single. So when you looking at them and you asking them, why are you out here acting single? Why are you doing this and you doing that? Because in their heart, that's exactly how they feel. Understand me, if they felt like they was in a relationship, then they will behave like they are in a relationship. Understand me. So when people start moving in a way that they be moving, they're moving exactly how they feel. Why you over there asking them questions instead of packing your bags is the bigger question. Hello, somebody, yeah, because why you, if they moving single, then they need to be single. Why you ain't packing your bags yet? That's what I don't understand, honey. Why you ain't really got the U-Haul? Because that's what I would have been did. Baby, why you ain't got your U-Haul? You got it on reserve. They ain't had none on the lot right now. Because what's up? Yeah, expeditiously, baby. My detachment is top tier. Get up out your face and up out your way. Do it expeditiously. Yeah, I will show you quick, fast, in a hurry. I am a show me type of individual. Let me show you something. Let me show you something real quick. You gotta see. You gotta see. You gotta see. You gotta see. Quick. Detachment and sovereignty. The more that you grow, the more that you evolve, you'll start to see that you didn't need it the way that you thought that you needed it. That it's not as important in your life as you thought that it was. That it was only important because you were in survival mode. That it was only important because you were broken. That it was only important because you were still dealing with the generational pain and the trauma. Understand me, that it was only important and it only had played such a part in your life because of the state that you were in that moment. That's emotional, that's spiritual, and that was mental. You were in a place where you felt like you needed something or needed someone to occupy a space that was a void in your life, a space you needed a distraction, you needed a void filler, and that's what was happening. But the more that you grow and the more that you evolve and you start to operate with that Christ conscious, you start pulling out your own plugs, right? I don't need you to plug that anymore. I don't need you to do that anymore. I don't need that anymore. And you start to heal yourself from within. Ah, yeah, come on, that's worth some ink right there. You start doing what? Healing yourself from within. This ain't an outer thing, baby. This an inner thing. You start deep diving into the unhealed trauma that lies within you. The deep trauma that lies within you. The dormant stuff that sits over there until you get triggered and then you get mad about it. Oh, no. You start healing that stuff. You start digging up that stuff. You start taking care of that stuff. Come on. Yeah. However, this detachment is often necessary, a necessary step towards to becoming sovereign and independent and allowing space for a deeper self-understanding. Detachment and sovereignty. That was number 2. And it says it does what? The more that you operate with this type of mindset, the more independent that you actually become. The more that you start operating with this type of mindset, the more independent you become, allowing space for a deeper self-understanding, the more independent that you become. And that right there, that's the word that nobody want to talk about right there, right? They don't want you to become independent because everybody wants you to be codependent on them. They want you to be relying on them. They want you to seek their approval. They want you to seek their validation. They want to make sure that you're tapping in, right? That you're tapping into them. They want to make sure that whatever it is that you do, that you got to come see them first. That whatever it is that you, however move that you make, that you come and see them first. They want you to consult them every single way, and and people want you to stay that way. They want you to stay codependent on them. Their greatest fear is that you waking up and realizing that you are really that girl, that you are really that guy. Their greatest fear is that you're opening up your eyes and seeing that you can exist on your own, that you can survive and thrive in life on your own. Understand me? Because as long as they can keep you in that place of life where you're stuck and you're stagnant, then you will always be easy to control. They can tell you who you are. They can tell you what you can do and this, that, and the third, and you will always be connected to them. Their greatest fear is that you start to learn who you are. Oh yeah, because it's power in knowing who you are. I just want you to put that in the chat real quick inside of your notes. It's power in knowing who you are. And we know that there's power in knowing who you are because that's the reason why the enemy works so hard to keep you from it. Understand me, the enemy wouldn't work so hard to keep you distracted in your life. He wouldn't work that hard to keep you distracted in your life if it wasn't power in knowing who you are. It's power in knowing who you are. And when I say knowing who you are, I'm saying knowing who you are without any of the attachments. Knowing who you are without any of the attachments. Like, I don't have to be attached to anybody and I'm still going to be who I am. I don't have to be in the friend group. I don't have to be connected to the in crowd. I don't have to be a part of this and a part of that. I'm still me no matter what. I know exactly who I am. And baby, I am a vibe. Understand me? I'm a vibe. It is a pleasure. It is a blessing to be connected to me in any type of form. Understand me? I know that about myself. And people who know this about themselves, they don't let folk just treat them no any kind of way. They don't let folk just walk over them, all over them. They don't let people treat them like a doormat. They don't let people in and out their life like they got a revolving door attached to their backside. They don't let folk just disrespect them and still have the same type of access to them. When you know who you are, you establish boundaries to protect who you are because you know who you are. And you realize that everybody won't appreciate who you are. Come on. Can we talk about that? Yeah. So that's when you get the, oh, you acting funny. You acting different. You act like you better than somebody. I don't like this new version of you. I bet you don't. I bet you don't. I bet you don't. I bet you don't like this new version of me. Yeah, this new, that acting funny. I love when somebody tell me that I'm acting funny. You acting funny. You acting different. Yeah, I am. Because I am acting funny. I'm acting very funny. I'm acting very overprotective of myself. I don't let everybody just have access to me the way that I used to. Understand me? Yeah. So if you call that acting funny, then I'm definitely acting funny. Oh, you acting real different. I'm glad that you identify the fact that I'm acting different because God knows I'm not doing all of this work on myself for me to remain the same. You think I get up and I go into prayer first thing in the morning, that I'm reading all these scriptures, that I'm doing all this fasting, that I'm doing all this praying and all this worshiping, and I'm going to be the same? If that's the case, then baby, I'm definitely doing something wrong. I'm definitely doing something wrong. If I'm doing all this work on myself and you mean to tell me ain't nothing changing, ain't nothing evolving in my life, ain't nothing switching up in my life that I'm doing, something about this right here ain't right. Understand me? So I love it. You see how you just change the way, you know what I'm saying? You see how it changes the way that you see things? Yeah, you think the enemy will have you looking at it on a negative standpoint. Like, oh, I must be doing too much. Let me bring that down some. I must be doing this. I must be doing that. Let me bring this down some. And then you start to, if you start to hear that and fall for that, give a place to that, then the enemy just won. Because what he wants you to do is to dilute yourself. What he wants you to do is water you down. What he wants you to do, he wants you not to reach that level. That's what he wants. He don't want you to grow. He don't want you to evolve. He don't want you to become. Let me get some love on IG. I see Rod is over there in a panic right now. Hey Rod, go out and come go out and then come back in. My girl said, wait a minute, is it not letting us send no badges over here? Hey y'all, let me get 5 badges on IG. Let me see what's going on IG real quick. Y'all double tap on the screen. Let's show some love. Double tap on the screen. Let's show some love. My girl is in a panic over there. She like, wait a minute. I'm trying to bless her. I'm trying to bless my coach and it ain't coming through. She getting mad. She over there getting mad at IG. Rod, go out and then come back. Y'all go out and then come back. I see Purple Flowers got one. Appreciate you so much, Crystal Love. Crystal Love got some love coming. Yeah, y'all see her in the chat. She is showing out. She is showing out in the chat. She done made the caution signs on each side, and she telling everybody else. She telling everybody else to go. Hey, Rock said, y'all not finna just watch this video, get all this information, and y'all ain't gonna bless her, and you're taking all her notes, got her sweat and pouring with sweat and doing all that. Y'all ain't gonna show no love. Y'all ain't gonna show no support. She is not going for it. She up over here on IG. She turning them every which way but loose over here on IG. Hey, they got me working, Rod. They got me working, babe. She is over there. She is not playing with y'all on IG. Hey, I had to stop, Gigi. I had to stop because I kept seeing her. I kept seeing her in the chat, and she was not playing. She was not playing. She was on it this morning. Yes, but as you're continuing to grow and evolve, she worse than Tifa over there, baby, because Tifa get on y'all too. She'll be over they on Crystal Love. They get over here in this chat on TikTok, but TikTok been doing good. Y'all been doing good with showing up. Y'all there. They'll get on you too, man. Listen, I absolutely love each and every one of y'all. Appreciate y'all so much. Thank you, Rambo. I appreciate you for that love over on Facebook, man. Double tapping on that screen. Listen, so the more that you start to grow, the more that you start to evolve, what it is this right here. Like the enemy don't want that for you. Understand me? Want to keep you codependent. Want to keep you relying on them all the time, but you have to know who and what you are. It's power in knowing who you are. So much power in knowing who you are. Number three, right? So you got ego, dissolution, and aloneness. You have detachment and sovereignty. And number 3 is going to be transitioning the ego's perspective. Transitioning the ego's perspective. Transitioning the ego's perspective. Look at Donna. Donna talking about yes. Yeah, you see how every single thing that we looked at as negative, how I was able to shift it and make it positive. Thank you so much, Motions Flow. You see how every little thing that we would be thinking about negative, do y'all see how I made it a positive? I'm doing that on purpose so I can show you how shifting your perspective will change the way that you see things. And if you change the way that you see a thing, then you change the way that you use that thing. When you change the way you see it, you change the way that you use it. So I'm using these small examples of things that we deal with on a regular basis, and I'm shifting them from a negative to a positive. So when I switch it for you, it switches your perspective, and you're no longer looking at it from a negative standpoint. Now you're looking at it from a positive standpoint. Now you're like, I can use that. Yeah, that's how this thing works. This is what we're talking about when we're saying shift those negative thoughts. This is what we're talking about when we're talking about shift those negative thoughts, shutting down those negative thoughts, moving away from those negative thoughts. Thank you so much, Mar, for subscribing to my TikTok, man. Yes, if you're not subscribed to my TikTok, make sure you do so. If you're not subscribed to my Instagram, make sure you do so. I have devotion every single morning. Make sure y'all hit that subscribing button on my TikTok and my Instagram. Double tap on the screen. Number 3 is transcending the ego's perspective. Yeah, there you go. Loneliness in this context, right, can be seen as an egoic symptom. Egoic, E-G-O-I-C, symptom, as it applies the existence of a separate I that is missing connection. In reality, the true spiritual awakening involves realizing the interconnectedness
of all things and the absence of a fixed, separate self. Transcending the ego's perspective. Well, wait a minute, Coach, that's a whole lot. In reality, it's a spiritual awakening that involves realizing the connection. When you start to transcend your ego's perspective, you start to shift it from all of these, everybody out here, to everything that's in here. It shifts, transcending the ego's perspective. Right? In reality, the true spiritual awakening involves realizing the interconnectedness of all things and the absence of a fixed, separate self. And what happens in this is, right, when we're talking about this, we're talking about how we have made it our business to become codependent and so attached to everything that is around us. So we've been living a life of a chameleon, right? We've become everything that we've touched. We've become a part of everything that we've touched. Everything that is around us, we become one with that, but nothing with us. That's how I want you to understand it. You've become everything with everything and nothing with here. Is when you start to live that life of a chameleon. A chameleon, you're attached to everything but yourself. You're connected to everything but yourself. You're focused on everything but yourself. And what happens in this is you find your time fixing everything and everybody around you, but you never fix you. You never fix you. So when we say this, it says, in reality, true spiritual awakening involves realizing the interconnectedness of all things, that you have to also be connected. You have to be a part. You have to be fixed. And you understand me? You have to fix. You have to be fixed. It starts to work on the connection that you have with everything that's around you. Friends, say mic drop. We live a life where we'll fix everything but us. That's right, Chef Shirley. It has shifted to that inner work. Show you your inner self. Build that inner type of connection and oneness with self. Puts you in a place where you understand that I can't be anything to anybody until I'm everything to me. Transcending the ego perspective. Loneliness in this context can be seen as an acknowledged symptom, as it implies the existence of a separate I that is missing connection. In reality, the true, so basically, listen to what I'm saying. It teaches us that everything else around us is more important than I. And I is always separate. Everything around us have more value than I. It's deception. It teaches that everything around you have more value than you. Everything that is around you is more important than you. That everything that is around you, right, it is bigger and it's better and it's more successful and everything than you. Deception. In reality, the spiritual awakening involves realizing the interconnectedness of all things and the absence of a fixed, separate self. It exposes you to the things within you that needs to be fixed. And it shows you where your real connection should be. This is how this operates in that spiritual awakening. She's talking about, I'm Big Rob. Number four, that one is transcending the ego's perspective. Right? Number four, we're gonna say absolutely. I'm telling you, that was a real good one. I was over there. I was like, oh, I like this. I like this. Because I tell them all the time, we are always taught to love and to protect and to give and to be there for everybody, but nobody teaches us how to be that way to ourselves. And the more that we study the spiritual awakening, then the more that we see, right? The more that we see how we have actually been self-neglecting, and we see the impact that it actually have on oneself. We see now just through that how it causes us to separate ourselves from oneself. There's no interconnectedness with oneself. We feel all over the place. We feel like we don't even know ourselves. We don't know if we coming or going. We don't know what we like. We don't know our favorite color. We don't know the favorite thing that we like to do. We don't know nothing about ourselves because we've spent all of this time, right? We spent all of this time being everything to everybody else, showing up for everybody else, making ways for everybody else, providing comfort and satisfaction for everybody else. And then the moment that we start working on ourselves, then we start to see that I have no interconnection with myself. I don't have no type of connection with myself. I have all this unhealed trauma. I have all of these things that I need to fix inside of my own life. I have all of this unhealed things that's just been tucked away, that's been compartmentalized within my own life. And then the moment that we start going through that spiritual awakening, that transitioning in our life, we like, wait a minute, the reason why this is not growing the way that it's supposed to grow is because this inner me is not fixed. Transcending the ego's perspective, shifting your perspective, changing your perspective, transcending. In reality, the true spiritual awakening involves realizing the interconnectedness of all things and the absence of fixed, separate self. Everybody got it? And make sure everybody got it. I see they got some questions over here on TikTok, so I'm waiting on y'all. Make sure y'all got it. Make sure y'all got it. Transcending the ego's perspective. Loneliness, transcending the ego's perspective. Loneliness in this context can be seen as an egoic symptom, right? That's egoic symptom. It applies the existence of a separate I that is missing connection. In the broken state of it, it shows you, in just that, what I just read, that top part, it shows you how everything else is growing, evolving, and is connected except for I. So it makes you feel out of place, not good enough, not a part of. Everything implies a separate I, which is then where I showed you how deception is right there in place, right? Friends say facts, right? And it shows you how that's deception, right? Because the enemy wants you to believe that you are not an important part of the process. The enemy wants you to believe that you are not an important part of the process. So it treats you or tricks you, bamboozles you, hoodwinks you into thinking that it includes everything but you. Right? Second part of that, I'm exposing the deception. In reality, the spiritual awakening involves realizing the interconnectedness INTER, connectedness, interconnectedness of all things, and the absence of a fixed, separate self. You are connected where you're supposed to be connected, and you're disconnected where you're supposed to be disconnected. You learn what's for you and what's not. It exposes you to the absence of the fixed. Your true, authentic self. It puts it out there for you to thoroughly realize who you are, what you carry, your strengths, your weaknesses, empty spaces, and it helps you find your place. You are so good. You are so good, Heather. I see you over there getting it in. Everybody's good to go. Transcending the ego's perspective. I'm waiting on y'all. I want to make sure y'all got it. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. We good. We moving on. About to move on. I'm waiting on TikTok. I want to make sure. Y'all got 137. Y'all double tap on that screen. Go ahead and get us up to 200K. Double tap on that screen. Pinky Gigi, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Say you're a beautiful teacher. Love that you love the word of God like you do. Thank you. I appreciate that. Patience Key, y'all good over there? All right. I'm moving on. Kira, you good over there? I need to make sure she good. She asked me to rewind. Kira, you good? I'm ready to go to the next one. Let me know. Yep. Okay. Cool deal. Do you got? She said, yeah. Okay. All right. Patience is key. Say yes, ma'am. Y'all double tapping on the screen. Let's get it. We at 140 to go 200K. Let's make that 200K go. The next one is this right here. It's going to be finding the meaning of solitude. Finding the meaning of solitude. What's another step in that stage of aloneness? That stage of aloneness, what's next? What's another step is finding the meaning of solitude. Hey there, how you doing? Finding the meaning of solitude. Let's make sure we get that highlight. Finding the meaning of solitude. And I love the fact that you guys are taking these notes, because I know when you take these notes, these things are going to stick in your mind. And so when you start to want to fix people, you're going to think about that. When you start to want to do, act like a chameleon, or you're going to think about that. When you want to be by yourself, you're going to think about that. And I absolutely love that. That's what I like. I love that. So my book is full. It's full. You got to get you another book, friend. Y'all double tap on that screen. Finding the meaning of solitude. The feeling of aloneness can be a blessing in disguise, offering an opportunity to connect with oneself and God. Right? And that's the same thing that I talked about at the very beginning of the live, right? I said, instead of you laying there feeling like, you just staring at the wall, you just standing there and you all over the place or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Start to use those moments of quietness, or those moments of stillness. You will start to utilize that time completely different, right? You will start, exactly, I sure did. Said that earlier, right? So you'll start to utilize that time completely different. So now when you're waiting, going through that waiting season of your life, then you'll start to wait different. You'll start to feel different. You will start to see things different. You will utilize that time of solitude. You'll start to appreciate it. Some of us even, we get to the place when we're in isolation, or that place where we're experiencing that loneliness time, right? Yeah. There you go. Yeah, when we're experiencing that, baby, we be happy. You know what I'm saying? The moment that you get on your spiritual journey, like really working your spiritual journey, a lot of us, once you get into that isolation stage, you get over there and you start to enjoy that space. You know what I'm saying? You don't even want nobody to call you. You don't want nobody to interrupt your flow. You start to see how productive that you can really be. How much, you know what I'm saying? How much you can actually get done when you by yourself. So you start to appreciate the solitude. You start to appreciate the quietness. And sometimes I'm gonna be even realer with you, right? You will get to a place when it says finding the meaning of solitude, the feeling of aloneness can be a blessing in disguise, offering an opportunity to connect with oneself and God, right? When you start getting so good at appreciating this newfound solitude, the new understanding of what solitude really and truly is, you will start getting in your car and you will drive hours in your car with no music on. Who done did it? Look at her talking about big facts. I do it all the time. That solitude be different. When you learn, when we say solitude, blessing in disguise, the feeling of aloneness can be a blessing in disguise, offering an opportunity to connect with oneself and God. When we say real blessing in disguise, Romeo, I'm talking about get in your car and ride for hours, right? Phone is over there inside the console. You didn't turn the radio all the way off, or you didn't turn it all the way down, and that silence, it just hits you so different. You appreciate just riding in silence, and you're decompressing. You know what I'm saying? You're letting all of it go, and you know what I'm saying? You just relaxing right there in your mind. It feels so different, right? When I tell you, you don't want nobody to call you, you don't want nobody to text you, you don't want nobody to interrupt you. And sometimes when they do it, it's like you get an instant attitude. You get mad and they're like, man, I just called to tell you such and such. But you are in that space and you're appreciating that peace and that moment so much. And if you're really working on yourself and your development, when you're out there and you're having these moments of solitude and you're just driving or you're riding by yourself or you're sitting on your couch by yourself, it turns into a moment where you're just meditating and don't even know that that's what you're doing. You just laying there, head just tilted back on the couch, and it just feels different. It feels refreshing. It feels refueling to the body. Understand me? This is why we say it's a blessing in disguise. You start to look at it and it become a thing that you just want. Even when other people get in your car and want to ride with you, they want to ride home from work and you giving them a ride home from work and they looking upside your head because they trying to figure out why you don't want to turn the radio on. You mean to tell me you ride all the way home like this? Yes. Yes, I do. And I really want you to be quiet and look out the window. That's what I want you to do. If you're going to ride with me, I want you to be quiet and look out the window. That's how we learn. That's how we start to appreciate solitude. We do realize that it's a blessing in disguise. We don't even want to talk. I done been at work all day long. You done been here all day long. We didn't have folk talking to us, talking at us, talking around us all day long. I want to ride all the way home. I don't want the radio on. I don't want you chatting in my ear. I just want to relax. Whole way there. It's a different vibe, right? And it says, solitude can provide a space for introspection, contemplation, and a deeper understanding of one's purpose. Why is finding a meaning of solitude? Why is it important? When you start working on your spiritual journey and you start to see the blessing that solitude is, why is it a blessing? That introspection, those moments when you riding and you thinking to yourself, you thinking about yourself. You know what I'm saying? You start to focus on yourself because the more that you're operating with that type of conscious, that Christ conscious in your talk, I don't know if this happens with everybody, but I know with me, especially with me, I don't, because we move away from the blaming other people for our life and pointing a finger at other people for our lives and looking for the fault in other people. When we're actually over there in solitude and we by ourselves, sometimes people think that we're thinking about them and things that they've done and how they're moving. And in all actuality, we're really looking at our inner selves, right? We're doing an introspection. We're looking at ourselves. We're thinking about the things that we can change within ourselves. I know I do it all the time. Me riding and me being quiet, me sitting in my room being quiet, me sitting on the front porch being quiet. I'm not thinking about pointing a finger at nobody. I'm not thinking about what nobody else got going on in their life. I can honestly tell you, majority of the time, I'm thinking about how I'm going to fix myself. I'm thinking about what I'm going to do inside my own life. I'm thinking about what can I do to make my life better. I'm thinking about what next business idea, what else am I going to drop? What's the next city that I'm going to go into? What's going to be my next message? I'm not even thinking about nothing to nobody else So when we say introspection, when you're really operating with that Christ conscious and you're working on yourself and going through that awakening stage, you don't even be thinking about other folk. I'm just being real with you. They be think. I don't even think about you how you think I think about you. That's just the real. Drink the water. Drink the. You think it too deep. You think it too deep because I'll be thinking about. Okay. Have you ever had somebody they just know you over there stressed out. They just know you over there stressed out. They just know you over there going through it and all this is on your mind, all that is on your mind, and you probably can't eat, can't sleep, can't do this and can't do that, and they don't even realize that you over there living your best life. You over there living your best life. You sleeping peacefully. You done ate 2 times a day already, right? And got a couple of snacks, Debbie cakes up in your purse. Then just in case you get hungry later, understand me, you done went through at least 4 bottles of water already because you getting it in. You done went to the gym. You know what I'm saying? You what over there living? Ain't thought about it. Ain't thought about it. Ain't crossed your mind. None of that. You over there. You know I'm telling you. And you drink water. I'm just saying. Finding the meaning of solitude. You will get to a place where you start to value that quiet time. Value that alone time. And you're not using that solitude. Let me tell you why most people run from solitude, stillness, quietness. They run from it in the very beginning stages of their life or before they start working on themselves because the silence is so loud. It's because as soon as everything gets quiet, just follow me real quick, because as soon as everything gets quiet in their life, that's when all the noises in their head, that's when they turn up. And that's when everything that they've gone through from a childhood to the broken relationship, the divorce, the abusiveness, things that they've dealt with, that's when everything starts to replay itself all up in their mind, and it's yelling and screaming at them and everything else, and they're like, oh my God, they want to turn the radio up as loud as they can go, and they want to they want something, they want a distraction, they want something to be able to take their mind off of what's actually happening in themselves, because they haven't done that inner work. Understand me, they haven't done that inner work. It goes back to the things that's not fixed, the things that's not healed, that's in the inside, and those things still are tormenting them. It's torturing them in the silence. But the more that you grow and evolve inside of Christ, right, the more that you're operating with that Christ conscious, when you step in, God is pouring and he's healing all in your life. So the more that all the things that you went through, you're not hoarding those things anymore. The pain that used to pain you, it doesn't pain you like that anymore. You look at all of these things not as things that had a toll on your life. You start to look at them as things that you went through and you had the victory over, right? You had a victory over that. God brought me through that. He protected my life. He preserved my life. He saved me from that. He gave me another chance in that. And you start to look at it as things that, you know what I'm saying, that are good things in your life. So it don't torture you the way that it used to torture you. It changes. It shifts the whole perspective. It changes the way that you see those things. So things that used to torment you, now things that send you into a praise. It'll send you straight on into a worship. Before, you used to think about the things that you had to endure in your life and the violation that happened, the abuse that happened, and then you would have tears screaming down your face, and you would be so mad, so frustrated with life, and you was just, you wanted to go and get your leg back. And now all of a sudden, when you start operating with that Christ conscious and you become one with God, and he start healing, and he start delivering, and he start moving and removing things up out your life, then all of a sudden, when you're sitting there in that solitude, and it's quiet, all of a sudden those things that used to make you cry and those tears, when you all of a sudden it'll send you into worship, all of a sudden it'll send you into praise, all of a sudden you have to pull your car over on the side of the road because you just, thank you, I just got to get out, I got a praise break real quick. Understand me, I started to think of his goodness, I started to think of his mercy, I started to think of his grace, I started to think about how he protected me in spite of me, I started thinking about how he made a way for me in spite of me, understand how he covered covered me in spite of me. I'm looking at the positions, the predicaments that I put myself in many times that I should not even be here right now. But look at me, I'm still breathing. And not only am I breathing, I have the activities of my limbs. I'm clothed in my right mind. Understand me. Look at what it is that I'm doing. He built me from the ground up. All of a sudden, you can't help it. You can't help it. Anytime somebody mentions something, okay. All right, go. We're going to get through. It starts to hit different, Pinky. It starts to hit different. It starts to hit different. So that solitude become a different type of vibe for you. That solitude become a different kind of thing for you. Like they said, it's a blessing in disguise for you. You enjoy that time. You enjoy that time. You look forward to that time. A time that you used to look at as a time that you ran from it. You was afraid of it. It felt like it was torture. It becomes a thing now that you willingly embrace. A thing now that you look forward to. A thing now that you love to do, because you know that as soon as you get into that solitude, that he's going to meet you right there. That the moment that you get into that solitude is the moment that he's going to meet you right there. He always meets you in the quietest spaces. Oh, isn't that so? Look at Donna. Be meeting you right there in the quietest spaces. You start to feel it. And you're like, oh man, this feels so good. This feels so good. And people looking at you like you done lost. You've been sitting right there for an hour like that? What you thinking about? You ever had somebody walk in and you sitting in the same place and you've been sitting there for like an hour and you ain't even sleep or nothing. You just got your eyes closed. Yeah, exactly, Lily. And you just smiling from ear to ear and you just feel so good. And they looking at you because they think you daydreaming. They looking at you and they're like, what you thinking about? They think that you got something about this world that's in your mind. They don't know that you are just sitting there in his presence and you're enjoying his presence. You're enjoying the fact that you can feel the breeze on your skin as he's wrapping his spiritual arms all around you. It's different. Tabitha Carter, thank you so much for that CA. I appreciate you. He's wrapping those arms all around you as you drive all the way home. It don't even feel the same no more. Used to drive home from work. And when you drive home from work, you get out there in front of your house and you sit there for 30 or 40 minutes because you feel like you got to decompress before you walk in the house. And then you start operating with Christ conscious, walking with him on a regular basis. So you didn't spend the time all the way home from work, all the way in his presence. So now you don't have to sit out there for 30 minutes. You just hop right back out the car and everybody in the house looking at you like you done lost your mind because how you work like that all day long. And then you done came in here and you smiling and grinning, you know what I'm saying? You feeling all rejuvenated. You done pulled out, you know what I'm saying? Got the dinner over there cooking the dinner, got the praise and worship music playing, and you dancing around in the kitchen like you ain't just work an 8-hour shift. You over there playing with the children, telling them to go get their book so they can go ahead and start reading out the book. Go ahead, y'all read it out to mama while I'm in here cooking. Let me know what you done learn. Oh yeah. Your vibe is so different. You come back, you're like, wait a minute, where you get all this energy from? You've been sitting with them. You've been sitting with them. Finding meaning for solitude is the feeling of aloneness. The feeling of aloneness can be a blessing in disguise, offering an opportunity to connect with oneself and God. Solitude can provide a space for introspection, contemplation, and a deeper understanding of one's purpose. Most people can't find their purpose because they can't sit in solitude. They can't sit in stillness. They can't sit in quietness. They can't calm their mind down enough to hear what God is saying to them. Because as soon as they get quiet, they start running. They need music. They need text buddies. They need somebody on their phone. They need something to distract them because they are afraid of the silence. Yeah. My next point. I'm going to my next point. My next point is the surrender and acceptance. Surrender and acceptance. Surrender and acceptance. Right? The more you are able to accept your aloneness and surrender to the process of spiritual awakening, the less you will feel lonely. This requires letting go of the need for external validation and embracing the journey of self-discovery. Surrender and acceptance. What we were talking about was the stage of aloneness. On your transformational stage, you will experience a stage of aloneness. Aloneness and isolation, we have now learned, are not the same thing. Isolation is when God is separating you from everybody in your environment that's no longer servicing your greater good. And isolation is when God is exposing you to the unsaturated truth about yourself. Now we're knowing and understanding that when we're going through the stage of aloneness is when we're actually putting in the work to fix those things that are broken that God has already exposed to us. It's our moment where we're decompartmentalizing, putting things out there, removing what is no longer servicing us and replacing it with functioning parts, right? So now we understand the difference in between the two. Now we're down here where it says surrender and acceptance. The more you're able to accept your aloneness and surrender to the process of spiritual awakening, the less you'll feel lonely. What did you say? DRC. Your DRC. Your divine right of choice. The more you are able, surrender and acceptance, the more you are able to accept. You have to be willing to accept it. You have to be willing to accept it. And with acceptance means you have to be willing to change. Instead of running from solitude, you sit in it. You accept what comes with it. Is this what we're doing today? Then let's do it. Surrendering to that spiritual awakening and allowing God to do his big one in your life. Not trying to control it, not trying to manipulate it, not trying to make it be what you want it to be, not trying to finesse it or get over on it, but simply allowing God to have his way, his whole entire way. Not just enough for you to get home, not enough for you to get back on track, but surrendering it. Surrender and accept. It's however you want to go about it. However you want me to move. Whatever it is that you want me to do. I am a willing participant. Anitra Mayo, thank you so much for the CA. That's a real question that we have to ask ourselves when we're on this spiritual journey, this growth journey, this self-love journey. Because even in your self-love journey, you have to be willing to surrender. You have to be willing to accept the unsaturated truth that this is what it is. And sometimes what it is not what you want it to be. And that's a fact. And when things are not what you thought that they were, when those things are out there and you see it for what it really and truly is, what are you going to do about it? DRC. When you see that that relationship is not what you thought it is, what are you going to do about it? When you see that the friendship is not what you thought that it was, what are you going to do about it? When you see the family ain't really family, what are you going to do about it? When you see the church ain't the church, the job ain't the job, what are you going to do about it? A lot of us see things for what they really and truly are, and we do absolutely nothing about it, but we expect change. That's not how this works. When you see that it's not what it's supposed to be, when you see that it's not giving what it's supposed to give, you have to make a decision in your life. You have to utilize your DRC. It's either you're going to stay with it or you're going to move away from it. You're either going to stay with it or you're going to surrender it. One or the other. But holding on to anything that is broken does nothing but create more brokenness. It does nothing but damage you even the more. You will be amazed how many people think that holding on to something that is not beneficial, that's not growing, that's not evolving, that they actually in their mind at our big old ages, they think that holding on to it is going to fix it. That if I keep loving it, it's going to fix it. If I keep giving to it, keep pouring into it, then eventually it's going to break. Eventually it's going to give in. Eventually it's going to be, no, it's going to be what it's always been. And it's already showed you that. Understand me, a dog going to always be a dog. And it don't matter how much cat food it give it, it's still going to be a dog. It's still going to bark. It's still going to look for a tree to piss on. That's just the fact. That's just the reality of it. Understand me, you can't make something be something that it's not. And when a person have already showed you that this is who they are, what they are, understand me, you have to learn how to accept it for just what that, and you have to utilize your DRC to say, am I going to go for this or am I going to go for that? But whatever level it is, whatever thing that you settle for, you're going to either reap the consequences or the abundance of. It's however you're going to go about it. Surrendering and acceptance. The more you're able to accept your loneliness, the time you're alone, I'm not loneliness, but aloneness. The more that you're able to accept your aloneness, your time for yourself, your time to do what? The introspection, your time to be able to contemplate, your time to be able to fix self, your time to be able to remove anything that's not functioning the way that it was designed to function, anything that's in your life that's not in alignment to your assignment. The moment that you accept your aloneness and surrender to the process of the spiritual awakeness, the less you feel lonely. You don't even feel lonely anymore. And I'm going to be extremely real with you when I say this. You don't feel loneliness anymore. You feel empowered. And those of you who have experienced this before, I know y'all can vouch for that. You no longer feel loneliness anymore. You feel empowered. And the reason why you still start to feel empowered in this stage of the awakening is because you are now seeing where you're choosing yourself. Good morning, Cook. How you doing, sweetheart? Yeah, you don't even feel alone anymore, right? You feel empowered because for the first time in many years, you can see where you're choosing yourself. You can see where you're prioritizing yourself. You can see where you're respecting yourself. And you will look folk directly in their face and say, baby, I'm alone because I choose to be alone. Understand me, that's empowering. I'm by myself because I want to be by myself. I enjoy my own company. I like to sit by myself. I like to read by myself. I like to meditate by myself. I like to shop by myself. I like to go to the movies by myself. I like to travel by myself because as long as I'm out and I'm about and I'm by myself, then I don't have to worry about the distractions of other folk. Understand me, I done spent majority of my life catering to other folks, fixing other folks, coming through for other folks, being everything for everybody else. I'm enjoying this time in my life, this stage of my growth journey where I'm only focusing on myself. I love the fact that I only have to worry about me. I only have to deal with me. Understand me, and you start to feel a sense of empowerment, not loneliness. And it is beautiful. And she said, and it's honestly relieving. It is. It is. And most people don't get it because once they start to feel alone, they run back to their old ways. Most people don't get to experience this feeling. And this is why I say some of those who have been in this stage, y'all gonna get it and vouch for it, because this is it's very empowering. It really is. It's refreshing. It's refueling. It's very satisfying. But majority people never experience this because of their codependency to other people. And the moment that they start to feel alone, they go right back to what they used to be in. They go right back to their old ways. They go right back to that old thing because they can't stomach the fact of being by themselves. So they've been tricked. They've been bamboozled. They've been hoodwinked. And they run back over there. And they don't even see the damage that's going to happen over there. They don't understand the consequences of what's going to happen of them being back over there. Because the moment that you went right back to that situation is the moment that you showed that individual that you can be played with. That's the moment that you just showed that individual that you don't have what you thought that you had, right? That they definitely have that power and that control over you. Every single time that you go back to that situation, a situation where somebody have already, treated you a certain type of way, spoken to you a certain type of way, anytime that you go back to those situations, you're doing nothing but showing that person that they really do have that power and that type of control over you. This is why I told y'all, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, I said, hey, look, be mindful. Right? Be mindful of this. Every time somebody apologizes, every time somebody acknowledges what it is that they done in your life, you can accept their apology without giving them a reconnection. You don't have to reconnect with everybody that apologized. I understand that you acknowledge what you done. I understand that you're apologizing for what you done, but the consequence is still the consequence. And that's me. I'm gone. Understand me. Your behavior, your disrespect, it brought that closure, right? It brought that closure, and I'm going to stand on that. I can love you from a distance. Just because I'm not with you, just because I'm choosing not to reconnect with you, it doesn't mean that I have beef with you. It doesn't mean that I'm going to go outside my way to try to hurt you, to slander you, or anything like that. It just means that I'm establishing a boundary in my life, and anything that I turn loose, I'm not trying to go reconnect back to. I let that go for a reason. I walked away from that for a reason. It was a reason as to why you and I are no longer in that situation. And I'm never going to allow people to do what? Paint me a million different pictures. My home and my life is not a museum. This is not an art museum, and you are not Picasso. You're not about to come in here and paint me no art gallery. I need for you to know, you're not about to set up no gallery up in my life. You're not gonna paint me a million different pictures off of pictures. I walk through my life and all I see is nothing but pain. All I see is nothing but hurt, nothing but disappointment. Oh no! I'm not about to go through that. You're not about to take me down through there. I want you to understand that's not how this is going to work. You can apologize and you can acknowledge what you've done, and I'ma still wish you well. The consequence is still the consequence. Right? Surrender and acceptance, the more you're able to accept your aloneness and surrender to the process of the spiritual awakening, the less you will feel lonely. This requires letting go of the need for external validation and embrace the journey of self-discovery. This key point is important because, again, it's speaking about how we remove ourselves from seeking that self-validation. We move ourselves from seeking that self-validation, that external, I'm talking about the self. We remove ourselves from seeking that external validation, and we start to embrace this journey on self-discovery. The moment that we separate ourselves from other people and we start actively focusing on ourselves, we are no longer seeking their validation or their approval or their pats on the back. We become people who are very much self-aware, and now we know who we are, we know whose we are, and we also are very much aware of who we are not, right? So we understand that these are the things that we know exactly where we fit. We know exactly what we fit in at. We know exactly what we bring to the table. These are things that we know and we trust about ourselves, right? The final thought over here in aloneness, the stage of aloneness, the final thought is finding community. The final thought is finding community, right? While spiritual awakening can involve periods of aloneness, it also often leads to the formation of a new connection with like-minded individuals. Finding a community that understands and supports your journey can be very invaluable, but it's important to remember that the true connection is with self. It's finding your community. Right? While the spiritual awakening can involve a period of aloneness, it can often lead to the formation of new connections with like-minded individuals. You start to find your tribe. You start to find your tribe. You start to find your people, right? You start to find your tribe. You start to find your people. And in finding your tribe and also finding your people, you're doing this while still understanding who you are connected to them, but also knowing who you are not connected to them as well, right? And if you're in the right type of community, they're going to support that, right? Finding the right type of community, right, of like-minded people that understands who you are when you're connected, but also knowing who you are when you're not connected as well, right? Understanding that I'm here and it's a choice. I'm here and it's a choice. I can be here if I want to be here. And if I don't want to be here, I don't have to be here. And even if I'm not here, it's not going to be any love lost, right? Because what? Everything is a choice. Everything is a DRC. We have to live life based on decision making, choices, right? And I love the fact that my family is called the chosen family, which means you can choose to be here and you can also choose not to be here. And if you choose to be here, we love you, we support you, we want you to be here, and as sisters and brothers in Christ, and we laugh, we love, we celebrate, and we grow together. But even if you're not here, that love and that respect, it still doesn't change. We still love you. We still, wish you the very best, still want you to live a full life, still want to see beautiful things happen for you and to you all throughout your life. So that's the reason why I love the fact that, we're called the chosen family. Different people sign up all the time. And the love is just the love. This is who we are. And we're like this in every single environment. Every single environment, no matter where we go. You cannot deny the love that's on every single person, the connection that everybody have. It's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful thing. So the last part of that is finding community, a community of like-minded people. That like-minded group of people are people that you're growing, you're evolving, you're crying with. You know what I'm saying? Everything that you do is within that group, right? So some people, it may be like we got the chosen family. Some people, it may be a church. Some people, it might be a Facebook group or a YouTube group or whatever it is. It's your own, that's right, Cook, it's your own safe space. It's your own place to empty out whatever it is, and you know that it's not going to be any judgment. You know that it's going to be love, it's going to be support. And it's just finding that community. All right? So the first one, and this right here, right? This fell up under the point of aloneness, right? The stage of aloneness that you will experience. Thank you so much. That's Miss Tor. I appreciate that. I appreciate you subscribing, sweetheart. Right? And this fell up under loneliness associated with spiritual awakening. And number one was the ego dissolution and aloneness. Number two was detachment and sovereignty. Number three was descending the ego's perspective, shifting the ego's perspective, lifting the ego's perspective, right? Lifting the ego's perspective, shifting the ego's perspective, transitioning the ego's perspective from other people to actually focusing on oneself, seeing what needs to be fixed in your life, focusing on correcting yourself, right? Number four, finding a meaning in solitude. Finding a meaning in solitude. Number five, surrender and acceptance. Number six, finding community. All right, and there you have it. And on tomorrow, we're gonna get into our next point. We got another point because we're going through the stages of transformation, stages of the transformation. So we'll go into our next stage on tomorrow. But this week have been absolutely amazing, just breaking down the awakening and then also breaking down the stages that go into the awakening. Man, this thing is so meaty. It is so fulfilling. Every single day that we wake up, we get over here and it's like, yo, this is amazing. This is amazing. This is amazing. Friend says, can I repeat it? Give me 1 second. I sure can. You need all the points. Number one, ego dissolution and aloneness. Number two, detachment and sovereignty. Number three, transcending the ego's perspective. Number four, finding meaning for solitude. Finding meaning in solitude. Number 5, surrender and acceptance. And number 6, finding community. Says this series is so informative. So I now understand. I'm glad. I love that. I love that. That's the point right there. If one person get it, if they are able to utilize the information, that's the job is being done right there all by itself. Well, I'm gonna get up out of here. I absolutely love you guys, and y'all know that I will be back live on tomorrow morning. Y'all can catch me right here on all 3 platforms: Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, starting at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. In between 8 a.m. and 8:10, I will be right here live with you guys, giving you guys all the good information. I absolutely love each and every one of you. Yes, everything that I teach is definitely saved inside of my Patreon. So if you guys have subscribed to my Patreon already, the link is right there in my bio. It says Linktree Street. If you click that link, select that $15 tier, you could become a part of my Patreon. All of my videos are downloaded and uploaded inside of my Patreon. Also, we do a Thursday night class every single Thursday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where you can bring your questions, your comments, you know what I'm saying, your feedback, you know what I'm saying, anything that you want to add on to, anything that we've been teaching, you can make sure that you can bring it to class as well, because we love perspectives, right? We are a group of people who do not mind learning and growing right there with each other. We have prayer call every Tuesday, Thursday at 12 p.m. It's exclusive. It's not posted anywhere on any platform other than the Patreon. So if you want 12 o'clock prayer, that's on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We do that as well. We have the class on Thursday night from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys receive your homework assignment for each month. That's right. If you want something out of life, you got to be willing to do the work. So I pass out homework assignments, which are self-building, self-reflecting homework assignments that they do each month. And it's released on the first of the month and it's due by the end of the quarter. We divide the year up into 3 months, right? So you have first, second, third, and fourth quarter. So if you want a part of that, we also have a 24-hour chat where you can write in there 24 hours a day and somebody's going to get back with you. You know what I'm saying? You might be going through a hard time, might just need some extra help, just might need a meme, might need a scripture, might need somebody to send you, you know what I'm saying, anything. And we right there, you know, to support and love on each other. Yes, you get all of that for $15. And you know, there's a lot you get for $15, right? And that's $15 a month, right? A month. That's not an everyday thing. So if you want to be a part of the chosen family, that is definitely an option as well. You can subscribe to that Patreon. And yes, this is not, just so we clear, this is not something where I post the classes in there and you go to it. No. I am active inside my Patreon. This is exclusive content between you and I. You guys are able to come up on screen right there with me and unmute your mic, mute your mic, however you want to do it. We read a self-help book together right now. We're currently on our 3rd self-help book of this year. We do self-help books, so we do mental health and spiritual health inside this group. This is not me posting a bunch of videos and never interacting with the people, never talking to the people. No, this is one-on-one type of stuff. Or your coach is right there and all you have to do is click the link and come on the screen and ask what you need to ask. This is how I run my Patreon. This is not you pay your $15 and you get the same thing that you get. No, right here. That ain't it. No. And I don't believe in acting like that. That's that. Yeah, I ain't about to do that. All the books, everything that we have been reading is definitely already listed inside of the Patreon. I love you guys. Y'all know the end of this month, I will be in St. Lucia. I will be the speaker for their women's retreat out there in St. Lucia. So I'm getting ready for that. And then following St. Lucia, Atlanta, Georgia, I will be out in Atlanta. That's going to be July the 19th. I will be speaking at their empowerment conference in Atlanta, Georgia. So if you guys have not got y'all tickets for that, make sure y'all do that as well. Following Atlanta, I will be in Brooklyn, New York. New York, selling out fast. Y'all are down to 6 tickets. Y'all got 6 tickets left till sold out. So I will be in Brooklyn, New York, and that's going to be August the 23rd. I have no more vendor slots. All the vendor slots are completely sold out for Brooklyn, New York. They got all the tables. So that is already wrapped up. We are wrapped up. That is done, okay? They did not play. We're getting a table. So yes, Brooklyn, New York will be August the 23rd. And then, of course, August the 30th, I will be right here in Columbia, South Carolina for my installment. So anybody that, you know, that's been here, that's been rocking with me, that's like, hey, coach, I'm coming out there for you, then yes, most definitely make your way. If you're trying to get tickets for August the 23rd, which is Brooklyn, New York, it's on Eventbrite. Go to Eventbrite, From Pain to Purpose, Empowerment event, and it's right there. You can go right there and grab your tickets. That Eventbrite is up and it's running right now. From Pain to Purpose, it's available. If you're looking for tickets for the Atlanta event, the barcode is on the flyer. Click that barcode and it will take you right to the event, to where you get the event tickets at, right? So those two events, that's how that's set up. I believe St. Lucia is already set in stone, but you can always contact Touch the Road Adventures, and she can get you right if you're trying to pop in last minute. I love you guys. Every single day that you wake up and you put 10 toes to the ground, I want you to sweat yourself. Tell yourself how beautiful you are and how much you love you, because it's no love like self-love, and you first have got to love yourself way before you're able to love anybody else. It's your favorite online motivational speaker and life coach. It's your girl, Street Poet. I want you guys to have an amazing day, and keep in mind, you are in control of the flow of your day. So have your day, have it your way. Go and have the day that you deserve. I love you.